What's going on, guys? Christian Hanna Horror here, and we're here to talk about Mortal Kombat 2021. Now, the briefest synopsis on me with the lineage of Mortal Kombat. I was just like you probably growing up. I grew up playing Mortal Kombat 1, the original on the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. Couldn't wait to get Mortal Kombat 2. Very young, but I remember it vividly. Getting Mortal Kombat 2 at a young age, probably well before I should have been playing that game, enjoying it. Me and my brother fighting all the time. He was always Sub-Zero, I was Scorpion. Mortal Kombat 3, and then remembering how bummed out I was with the roster, getting Mortal Kombat Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, and being like, holy smokes, this is amazing. Loving those games. Always was a bigger fan of the Sega Genesis versions because I was a Sega boy. I loved my Sega. So I was like you. I grew up with these movies. Loved the original film. As you can see, I've got the Blu-ray right there for the first one. Loving Annihilation. I think it is one of the greatest bad movies ever made. So I'm like you. I have my favorite characters from the game. It's always been a part of my life. So I was ready for this movie. I was quite honestly very anticipating Mortal Kombat 2021. So with this review, I will talk spoiler-free, and when I want to get into some spoilers, I'll let you know. That way you can click off of the video or come back to it later when you watch the movie if you haven't seen it yet. Overall, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. There are certainly things that I were not huge on in the film, and there are other things that I thought delivered fairly well. Now, as far as blood and guts go, they pretty much deliver on that pretty well. I was pleasantly surprised with the I guess gore is the term I'm looking for. Um, I would say it was a good amount. It wasn't an overabundant amount like I really wanted. I wanted it everywhere in every scene, but of course that just can't happen. I mean, it has to be moments that are softer and story to develop before you can see just battling. But I thought there was a good amount of gore, and I liked that. Tone wise, I like that. I liked it to be Mortal Kombat is fantasy. It's bigger than life itself. So I thought that it tempered that fairly well with being the the fantasy world that it is, with having characters that you know act realistically and talk realistically and react realistically. So I thought they blended that pretty good. I think it's hard because you've got, a great 90s film. I thought the first movie was just a darn good movie. Then you have the second sequel, the sequel Annihilation, which is completely over the top. One of the most bizarre, big budgeted films ever in terms of its tone because it is ridiculous. So this movie, you really don't know what to expect. So this movie starts out with a great opening scene. I love the opening scene. Sets up the lineage of the characters for who are going to be part of this movie big time. And, Sub-Zero makes a great entrance into this film. And I loved Sub-Zero in this movie. I got to be honest. I really loved Sub-Zero. In terms of the characters, I will say this, a few more things before we get into the spoiler talk. But, this film, you really could have a differing opinion on it based on which characters you really wanted to see in Mortal Kombat. Because obviously, there's a healthy roster to these games now. Even back then, when you go back to Mortal Kombat, by Mortal Kombat 3, there was a healthy roster of characters that you began to love in that series. So, dependent upon who you really wanted to see in this movie, could genuinely affect how you feel about it. I had a few people that I wanted to see and one of them that I needed to see. I mean, I really was going to be upset if I didn't get this one character, and I'm happy to say that I got that character. So that was great. Shang Tsung has to win one more tournament to take over Earthrealm, and of course Raiden has got to get his warriors to defend Earthrealm to fight, and we're setting this whole thing up. Now this movie introduces a new character, and this is going to be a touchy subject with a lot of fans, because a lot of fans, I don't think, are going to be into this. Others are going to, I think, try to embrace it and maybe not just dig the character that much. And some may love the character. Me, I fall on I'm okay with him. He certainly wasn't, what I certainly wasn't asking for a new character to necessarily be introduced. But, I'm somewhere in the middle with him. I really got to revisit the film a couple times again. I really want to go back and watch it, digest it some more, and see. But the surrounding characters I liked. So, Some of the characters I'll say that are in this movie before we get into the spoiler talk is you're going to see obviously Sub-Zero. You're going to see Sonya Blade. You're going to see Jax, which I am a Jax fan. You're going to see Kano, which for some reason I just knew Kano was going to be in here. Mind you, I did not watch the trailers or anything. Shang Tsung is obviously in here. And some other female characters. I'll leave it at that. So, and then a few other bigger characters in the movie. So, the action was great in this movie. I thought the fight scenes were great. There's a healthy amount of it in this movie. Of course, I think you could always want a little bit more than what you get, but I thought that this movie balanced it pretty well. Pacing wise, I was down with it. I did think that the movie had a pretty darn good pace to it. I was never bored or just like, okay, let's get going. I actually thought that the movie felt like it moved at a very good speed. So that's another thing I did like about it. Again, first impression, I just got done seeing the movie a few hours ago. So yeah, I mean, overall, I'm more on the happier side with the film. I'm around a 6 out of 10-ish. So let's get into the spoiler talk now. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, you can come back to this film, just kind of timestamp where you're at and come back. Thank you for watching. All right, so to continue, so seeing Sub-Zero be the villain was shocking to me. Mind you, I don't keep up with the storylines of the newer games because I'm an old school gamer. I really like my cartridge-based games. So seeing Sub-Zero be the bad guy was shocking to me, considering the way he was in Mortal Kombat 2 and all that, the movies, because that's my Mortal Kombat films I saw growing up. But I was totally down with it. I loved the casting in this movie was I thought was really good. But yeah, seeing Sub-Zero be the villain was great. I loved his character arc in the movie. Thought that was really cool. Shang Tsung was great, but I gotta be honest, the Shang Tsung from the original Mortal Kombat, that dude was just perfect for that role. I loved Shang Tsung in the original. But the Shang Tsung here is good. No real complaints at all. But it's hard. You're gonna find yourself comparing them a little bit because this is a reboot of the series. But yeah, I loved that Shang Tsung in the original. But this one's good. This one's really good. I like Sonya Blade. Thought she was great. Kano was good. He was like the comic relief of the movie. Don't really have anything negative to say about him or overly positive, but he was fine. I liked Jax in this movie. I always liked Jax. I never liked playing with him on the games because he was hard to really get combos and learn stuff with. But in this movie, I thought Jax was good. And you knew what was going to happen with him right off the bat. You knew he was going to have to get the cyber arms. And the way he gets the cyber arms was really great with Sub-Zero freezing his arms and then ripping them off. I thought that was great. Sub-Zero was just amazing in this movie, that guy. Now, the main character that we introduced into the film, Cole, and, he has the emblem of the dragon mark, which means he is chosen to fight for Earthrealm. And with some of the other characters in the movie, Cole, it's like casting-wise, great. I thought he was casted well, but I don't know. I think I would have liked to have seen just a little bit more from him. Like he was like the reluctant hero of the film almost, and his arc I think was just missing a little something. I just wasn't feeling it all the way there, But thankfully, like a lot of the characters around him, I loved it. I loved Liu Kang in the film. I love that he was already a champion and stuff like that. I mean, you can't not have Liu Kang, so I was so glad. Now, kill-wise, Kung Lao was the king. I thought Kung Lao was awesome in this movie. Casting, again, was great for Kung Lao. He had the best kill in the movie. Violent, disgusting. I think he even said flawless victory. So you got your hammy moments in there from the game. Kung Lao was the man in this movie. I loved Kung Lao. And you do get your Scorpion. The whole time I'm thinking this Cole guy is going to become Scorpion at the end because he's got the yellow thing going on. But no, he turns into his own character. So, I'm lukewarm with Cole. I don't dislike him, but I don't really like him. he was there, and I'm fine with him. But I don't know. I didn't. I wanted to grab onto him a little bit more. But he did have the best scene with Goro. Now, he was the one character. If I didn't have Goro, I was genuinely going to be upset. And again, I think you could be affected with this movie if the characters you want to see don't make this film. Because I mean, it's Mortal Kombat. We want to see the characters that we love. And the great thing about Mortal Kombat, what makes it so great, is everybody has a favorite character. And not everybody's is the same. Quite frankly, there's a lot of people that like the different characters out there. So Goro's my favorite character from Mortal Kombat, period. And he was awesome in this movie. I loved the scene with Goro. He was a true monster. Great. He looked great. Of course, it's CGI in this film, but CGI, I mean, it's fine for this kind of movie. I'm typically a practical effects type of guy. Loved the way Goro looked in the original. Totally fine with the Goro in this one. So CGI wasn't a factor. I knew it was going to be a lot of CGI. Whatever. Doesn't bother me. So not for this instance anyway. So overall, I had a good experience with the film. I'm more on the happier side than the dull side. I think a part of it too, guys, is the Mortal Kombat movie in your head. As being a big fan, no budgeted film could match that magnitude. I mean, our expectations are so high for this because we love these games. We grew up with these games. We play these games, these characters, what we think these characters can do in our head, and all the characters we want to see. So, yeah. So, I mean, if you're a fan of like Johnny Cage, he's not in this movie, but I think there's going to be a sequel if this movie does well, and I'm sure he's going to be in it. Other characters don't make it. Like, I really like Smoke. I didn't see Smoke in here. Rain. I didn't see Rain in here. Kamala wasn't in here. Or Baraka, I think. There's some good characters in here, but of course, if there's someone that you don't love, it could affect the way you feel, and I can understand that. But overall, I didn't have anybody in this character I just couldn't stand, and that was great. I really didn't. Just our main character Cole. I'm a little on the fence with him. So. But cast-wise, I thought he was good. So, there it is, guys. So, overall, I'll give the movie a 6 out of 10. Fun experience. I mean, it delivers on the action and the blood, so I think that's great. So, there it is, guys. That's my review for Mortal Kombat. I mean, check it out. I watched it on HBO. Definitely check it out. If you're a fan of the movie, whether you end up loving the film or not liking the film, I do think the action will satisfy you, and I think that's, at some level, all you can really ask. Of course, No Mortal Kombat film is going to be perfect for every fan because we all have our ideas about what the film could be. But, overall, I give it a 6 out of 10. I enjoyed it. Thought Sub-Zero was awesome. And, of course, it was great to see Scorpion at the end. So, there it is, guys. Mortal Kombat. Let me know what you guys thought about the film. If you've seen it yet, I'd love to know. Drop your comment below. And if you do happen to want to get into spoiler talk, if you want to drop a comment and say, warning, spoiler talk, that would be nice just in case people don't want to be spoiled yet, but they watched part of that review. So, Christian at a Horror, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.